go. As advertised, as promised, we are joined by a living legend. The theme of this conversation is the word respect. Respect is something that ICP is starting to get more so than they have ever had in their entire career in 2025. The flowers are finally starting to come in, obviously making an impact in the mid-90s, creating a genre all of their own, and a family and a hardcore fan base to follow them all through their lucrative career. Now this year, you're starting to see ICP pop up on names of festivals like Bonnaroo, larger than life. You're starting to get the mainstream love that a band and a brand and a legacy deserves. And now ViolentJ and Shaggy 2 Dope want to put more respect on the name of their independent wrestling promotion, JCW Lunacy. And I got ViolentJ joining us on the podcast broadcast right now. Good morning, Jay. It's good to talk with you.
Man. Who'd have thunk it, right? I mean, after 33 years of doing this, you never thought you'd use ICP and respect in the same sentence. You know what I'm saying?
It is amazing to see. It's beautiful to see as well, man, because, I mean, I was talking to my friends before we, started up this podcast, people who are not familiar with the entire run. And what you have done as an indie band, an independent, family-run business, to be a multi-platinum act, to have the longevity, to create festivals, to cater to a fan base and sell more merch than most like mainstream bands could dream of, it's so mind-blowing that you have to recognize it, right?
Well, it's been a long ride, man. But you know what I figured? I figured that two things. Number one, today's world and generation is more open-minded, and they're not as chip on their shouldery,
Right.
And the other thing is everybody in the music industry, everybody in the, pretty much everybody in the music industry today is not the same people that were there in the 90s for the most part. And
Right.
So today's industry doesn't hate us. For years and years and years, we were the most hated band in the world. And it doesn't feel like that anymore. You know what I mean? And I just can't believe it. But I'm also very honored, because we took being the most hated band and we made that our thing. We called ourselves the most hated band, and we took that negativity coming at us and we morphed it and used it as part of our shtick, But I'm not gonna lie, getting terrible reviews and getting slammed down all the time hurt. You know what I'm saying? And It feels good to have nice things said about us, man. It really does. And to have our music taken seriously and things, it feels really good, man. And I'm just really, really happy about it. We've been blessed our whole career because we've had a fan base that's extremely supportive, and they're more than a fan base; they're a family, and that's an enormous blessing right there. But and people would say, well, the only one that likes their crap is the Juggalos. The only one that goes to the shows is the Juggalos. People would review the concerts and say the only ones having fun with the Juggalos. Well, what are Juggalos? Juggalos are people. So that's like saying the only ones that likes them are people. You know what I'm saying? The only one that likes them are their fans, and that's like every band. So it's just because they got a title, the Juggalos, people like to point their fingers at them and say, oh, that's somebody different. That's something different. That's something I don't understand. They're having fun. So I don't like that. I feel threatened by that, And at the end of the day, it's human beings, But to get respect from the outside of the Juggalo world feels great, Beef, man. I'm not going to lie, brother.
Yeah, well, and it just kind of seems like that's just how always a lot of bandwagon people, they jump on the bandwagon, right? And you see with the time, you're seeing resurgence of popularity in bands like Nickelback and Creed, right? Two examples of bands that it was cool to shit on for quite some time, and then now it's almost like a nostalgia cool, but it's also a recognition of really in retrospect why the popularity was there in the first place and how good it was in general. And the fact that you point out that, they tried to classify it as Juggalos and be like, you talking about the fans? You talking about the people that bought tickets and enjoyed the show? You just gave them a name to dehumanize them. You're right. It was fucked.
It's just a title. You know what I mean? It's really just a title to put on them, but they're human beings and they're just as important as any other human beings. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
But yeah,
They work
nostalgia is a huge thing, and it's a huge market. I got my friend Vanilla Ice, right?
Yeah.
He was on top of the world when he came out, and then he was just shit on forever. Like he was made fun of forever. And now, incredibly, he's on top of the world again. He's doing these I Love the 90s tours and things, and he's selling out arenas. And it's sort of like, I always say this, a musician's artist is a lot like a banana, all right? It starts off hard and up on the top, and then it kind of swoops down and they hurt for a minute, and they're down, you know, but then it comes back up and it hardens up again, you know. And just like you said with Creed, Nickelback, you know, nostalgia is a thing. There's like people love bands, then they hate them because they're embarrassed by their support that they gave to this music compared to what's happening now or whatever. So they diss them and they're embarrassed by it. But then they get to a certain age where they're like, man, that's me, that's my history, that's what I love, that's my legacy, and so they embrace them again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Feeling that now. That's ViolentJ, everybody. We're live on Rock 102.1, this podcast broadcast. We're going to be talking with ViolentJ, not only about the resurgence of popularity and all these major festivals that they have booked in 2025, the 25th anniversary of The Gathering that's happening this year, and more importantly, next Friday, JCW Lunacy coming to Tucson, and ViolentJ is going to be performing at that. So you can join us, youtube.com/beefvegan, or stick around because we'll continue more with ViolentJ right after music from Bad Flower, appropriately with the song Detroit. All right. It's Rock 102.1 KFMA. All right. So, yeah, that was just a little teaser on there, and we continue. So, it's I couldn't be more happy for you. I've seen you a couple times, you know, live, like Marquee Theater. It was, I think, the last place that I saw you. And you know, it is an experience. Like my buddy Rico and I, who does a show with me, we always talk about wanting to go to the Gathering. It's always in the Midwest somewhere. Now I'm at the point where I feel like I might be too old to be able to hang to go in the Gathering all night. Right?
I can hang. You know, I'm 3 times your age.
Nice.
I'll tell you this, man. This is why it's worth going to the Gathering. And I'm not trying to sell a ticket, man. Half the crowd sneaks in anyway. It's such an enormous facility that you know, a lot of people are sneaking in, so it's not about that. But what it is about is one thing I've learned in my old age is this: nothing is more priceless than an experience, a memory. And if you go to the Gathering, you will have a memory for the rest of your life. That's a fact. Whether you have a good time or a bad time, you will see something you've never seen before. You will have an experience unlike anything you've ever had, and you will have a story for the rest of your life. So that's worth more than, to me, experiences are worth more than any physical item. You know what I mean? It's like if somebody won an Olympic gold medal. Sure, you've got that gold medal, you know what I mean? But it's not like the experience of actually winning it, of actually training all your life and winning it. You know what I mean? That's the memory. That's the real gold. That's the real treasure to it. Not that ribbon and that medal you have. You know what I mean? That's nothing compared to the experience of winning it and going to wherever the Olympics were and all that. So, man, when people say that they've wanted to go to the Gathering their whole life, I always tell them there's nothing to it but to do it, brother. Because, man, you won't regret it. And when people think it's going to be a certain way, they think, oh, if you're not one of them, they're going to mess you up. If you're not one of them, they're not going to treat you right. It couldn't be further from the truth. In fact, it's the exact opposite. If Juggalos feel you're not one of them, they're going to welcome you wholeheartedly, man. And I've been reading that story from writers for 30 years. For 25 years, I've been reading that story where they're like, oh, man, I got put on assignment to go to the Gathering. I'm going to be dead. They're going to kill me. Or my friends dared me to go to the Gathering, and now I got to go. I'm so scared. And then they come back from the Gathering, and they write these beautiful stories. You know what I mean? About how incredible it was and how wonderful the people were. I've been reading that same story for 25 years, man, in publications. And it's one of my favorite things to read after the Gathering is reading those type of reviews, because it really is, man, the camaraderie, the feeling of being accepted no matter who you are or what you look like or what your style is or anything. it's magic being a clown because nobody's trying to be cool. Everybody's okay with just being themselves and being a clown. And it's all about everybody's accepted, nobody's rejected. Everybody, everybody is welcome. And that's the beauty of it. And when you get there, you can feel that in the air, brother. I promise you. It feels really
good. I don't doubt that. It's Rock 102.1 KFMA. We're on with ViolentJ of ICP talking about the beauty of the gathering and how it really is like a Woodstock with face paint, So like every time, and you're not wrong, Jay. I've seen the write-ups. I've watched the videos where people are going in fearing that if they're not a true blue juggalo, that they're going to be outed and beat up, and they're actually received with so much love and acceptance. It really is one of these the gathering legitimately was something that you guys created to gather a bunch of people together to be family. And it seemed like everyone appreciates that. And the 25th anniversary happening this year, can you believe that you've been doing this festival for 25 years?
Well, there's a price to pay when you're having fun, and that is that time flies. And that's a hefty price because time is all we have, and it's more important than anything. But it's true though. When you're doing something you love for a living, the only bone is time flies really fast, But I'll tell you this, man. You said something. You said we created this. That's why the Juggalo world is so amazing because we didn't create it. It happened organically. It was never in our blueprints to have this sort of wonderful family experience that the Juggalos are. It happened to us just like it happened to everybody else, and we're just as shocked as anybody. It was never in our plans. We did not name Juggalos. We did not come up with that name. I don't know what the hell that name comes from, but it's real and it's legit, and it's a wonderful, very organic, maybe possibly one of the last subcultures in America,
Yeah. One that was even documented with the FBI putting them on the list. I mean, you guys endured a lot as a band and a fan base to overcome. And it finally seems like, the smoke is cleared and you guys are standing victorious on the other side, which is a beautiful thing to see. In retrospect, with 25 years of the gathering, when you look back fondly on some of the memories you had, what are some instances that stick out to you as man, I can't believe that happened at the gathering over the past 25 years? Favorite moments?
Well, one of the hardest things about the history looking back is seeing some of my favorite bands and favorite acts getting booed off stage, and I want to say Juggalos are not the type just to boo you off for nothing, but where bands go wrong is if, say, the gathering that year is 45 minutes outside of Cleveland or something, right? The kids at the gathering come from all over the world, actually, to be at the gathering. So when the band goes up there and they're saying, "What's up, Cleveland?" And they're showing signs that they don't know where they're at or what they're actually playing, and that it's something that these people consider special, they feel disrespected. You know what I mean? They feel like this band is unworthy to be here. So another thing is when Juggalos chant "whoop whoop," and when you've got 15,000 chanting that, it can sound like boos.
So they think they're getting booed. They're like, no, they're actually showing the ultimate love, dude.
But I've seen some of my heroes go down, and that's really tough, man. It really is. And I've been backstage and been screaming, "No!"
So you have a couple people on the list that say, "I will never do this again." And
And then when they go tell the story to everywhere, it becomes harder for us to book bands because bands don't want to come in. They're afraid to play it. You know what I mean? And then you see other artists that, for example, throwing things like pop and soda flying up on the stage and stuff. Some bands would be like, "Stop the music, stop the music. Yo, if anybody throws one more thing, I'm coming out there and cracking heads." That's not the way to do it. There's other artists that catch a soda right out of the air and start drinking it, and show that they're having fun. And, Juggalos embrace that. They embrace somebody looking like they're having a good time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's wild, man. It really is. But
it's a one of a kind of experience. Well, it's definitely on the bucket list for sure. So we have ViolentJ from ICP joining us on the podcast broadcast, youtube.com/pfeeg. And the reason why we get to touch base with ViolentJ, who's been having a massive, last 18 months, too. You're unavoidable. You're everywhere on the internet. But respect is the theme of this conversation. And he's looking to put respect on the name of one of the longest running independent wrestling companies and promotions in the country, and that's JCW Lunacy. JCW has been around for as long as I legitimately remember as a wrestling fan from the Monday Night Wars. And now you got a weekly series on YouTube. It looks clean, right? You have a great roster. And you are, you're the Vince McMahon of your promotion without all the, of course, dirty allegations and whatnot. But I'm saying, are you the promoter / booker? Are you that man behind your organization?
This is something I'm pouring everything I got into, man. We've been doing JCW, like you said, for 25 years. But now that ICP has pretty much slowed down our touring schedule, we've taken things at JCW and really ramped them up, and we take a lot of time in picking out our roster. We want colorful, creative characters. We're into gimmicks, we're into outrageous, loud characters. We gotta, we got all sorts of guys wrestling at JCW, and I want it to be entertaining to people that might not even be wrestling fans. I want them to be able to watch an episode of Lunacy and find something that interests them that aren't even wrestling fans and might help convert them into wrestling fans. But, ICP comes from the world of wrestling. Me and Shaggy, we are a wrestling tag team. Look at us, we are a gimmick. I got clown paint on my face, we are from the wrestling world, and we were actually both wrestlers before we even rapped. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We were independent wrestlers in the Midwest, so it's very much in our heart. And we're putting everything we have into JCW to make it entertaining. It's on YouTube, and the show's called Lunacy. And we're proud of it, brother. We really are, man. And we're happy to be coming to Tucson. It's hard to get our whole roster out on the West Coast, but we're coming, and we're coming strong, man.
Nice. Yeah, we're going to break down the details of what to expect at Club Encore on March 7th, which is a week from today. And ViolentJ will be in the building for that as well, correct?
That's right. I'll be performing a solo set. I'm going to go through the hits. And that's
No, you got hits, man. You got hits.
We don't have any hits. What am I talking about?
No,
we don't have one hit.
That's nonsense. With 2.5 million people on your Spotify every month, yeah, you got hits for sure.
Listen to me, it's like we're going to be doing the hits.
Like, all the ones you don't love. Yeah, let's do this. We're continuing the conversation on the podcast broadcast, and then when we return after these words, we're going to break down what to expect. JCW Lunacy happening next Friday on the podcast broadcast stream. I'm going to advocate why ICP should be in the WWE Hall of Fame, whether ViolentJ agrees or not. And we'll have more coming up right after these words. So stick around. It's Rock 102.1 KFMA. Yeah, so here's my argument that I was saying to my buddy Valdez, who's here as well. And I'm going to just pop him in so you could see Valdez. He's a beautiful man, ViolentJ. I was sharing, this is Valdez right here.
Hey, brother.
So,
how's it going, man?
He's a wrestling guy too, and he's just like, if you need a referee, he's a professional indie referee. But
oh, really? Come to the show, brother. We need you. Absolutely.
There you go. All right, there you go. See. And I also have to shout out DJ Looney, who's my official DJ. He got arrested as a Juggalo when he was a kid, and he's got much love. And so, yeah, we talked about the infamous time. I remember so vividly of Shaggy sliding off that bus in WCW, right? With Mike Awesome giving him that awesome bomb, and not getting too hurt on that. But okay, so here's the argument as to why it's obvious that ICP should be in the WWE Hall of Fame, even though it's just an honorable role. They got the celebrity wing, of course. Kid Rock's in there, has no business being in there, even though he's performing.
That's what I'm saying. If he's in there, maybe we should be in there.
Oh, yeah, maybe the team and the group that was performing in both WCW, WWE or WWF at the time, and ECW during the height of the Monday Night Wars. Maybe the team that actually wrestled around the world in Japan and Mexico. Maybe that team was part of the Odd Squad. Maybe the team that was, trying to resurrect WCW and pushed Vampiro to be a household name. That fucking team should be in the WWE Hall of Fame, and I think most people know this.
Can you imagine that if that happened, though, man? Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I would not be able to deal with that. I would. Oh, it'd be so incredible, man. And as time goes by, people take that more and more seriously, like the possibility of that, And it's got me thinking, could that actually happen one day? But especially with Vince and them gone, because I think they had an it club, and if you weren't in the it club with Vince, it wasn't happening. Period. It didn't matter who you were, or what you did. But now it's more people in control over there, and decisions are made probably with a board or whatever. So it could. I mean, anything's possible, right? I would be one proud motherfucker if that happened. I'll tell you that, man.
Yeah. Well, what's your relationship with Triple H? Like back in the day, in the 90s, when Triple H was rising to the top, and of course you're doing there during the Attitude Era. Did you get along with Paul?
Sure. Yeah. We got along with everybody. But, the thing is, so we ended up walking out on them at WWE, and we were in face paint and everything. It's just that we had this deal going where we wanted them to spin one of our commercials on Raw that said, our music was available at Coconuts and Tower Records or whatever, because a lot of people thought at the time we were just a wrestling gimmick, that we weren't an actual band. And that was our main goal, was to get exposure for the band. You know what I mean? And so we said, look, just run a commercial one time on Raw and we'll be happy so that people know we actually have music in the stores, and we're not just a storyline band. You know what I mean? And so they kept promising us week after week it was going to air. And at the time, after so long, my manager said, look, man, they didn't air it last night. It was the night after I took the Stone Cold Stunner from Steve Austin. It was so great. But the next day they used to do a Raw live, and then they would do a taped Raw. So we're at the taped Raw. We got the paint on. We're about to go out there. And my manager was like, yo, they didn't air the commercial last night. How many months are we going to do this and let them keep BSing us? So we left. And I look back now and I realize how unprofessional that was, and what a mistake that was to walk out in the middle of their show. And so I don't know. I'm sure there's hard feelings over that. It was incredibly unprofessional.
Yeah,
but
you know how the WWE operates. They forgive and forget a lot, especially if it gets about. Well, I hope too, and I know a lot of wrestling fans, not even Juggalos, hope as well, because it was a very impactful run that you guys continued to have, even though, it's not like you dominated the tag team division by any means, but you definitely made an impact and had memorable moments, and that's really what it's all about. So we're going to get on the air here in about 2 minutes to talk about JCW Legacy. And is Willie Mack coming? Is he going to be defending the title?
Absolutely. He's our world champion. He'll be there.
Dallas Slim on Facebook is asking about the belts you have. What is that?
We have the world title, we have the American title, we have the tag team titles, we have the women's championship, and we have a brand new title debuting on this West Coast tour. It's the Battle Royal Championship, and it's an enormous belt. Man, it's got to be this big. It's enormous, and it's the Battle Royal Championship, and so everybody that holds it, if you win a battle royal, you hold that belt until the next battle royal, and chances are you're gonna lose it. But everybody that holds it, their name goes on a plaque on the back of it, on the back of the face of the title, and your name gets engraved on there. So after another 10 years or so, there'll probably be a bunch of legendary names on the back of that belt of people that held it. You know what I mean? Which is really cool.
Awesome.
Yeah. And I've never heard of a battle royal title, so I think that's cool, and I'm excited about that belt debuting.
Yeah, usually it's like a trophy or something. So that's cool. Are you going to be filming at Encore? Are you filming these road tours, or
these are
going to be an episode?
Yes, these are episodes of Lunacy. We're actually filming 2 episodes at every show, and there's 5 matches per episode. So we're gonna film 2 episodes in Tucson and 2 episodes in Albuquerque and 2 episodes in Vegas. Yeah, absolutely. That's what we're doing, is filming for Lunacy. You know?
I love that, dude. And that's great too, because then come on and be on an episode of Lunacy, which we'll talk about how it has that kind of concert vibe and energy, because it's not seats, you're not sitting there, you're standing. It's standing room only, standing around the ring, and of course with the guards, and then with the stage being in a rock club, so the sound is loud and everything.
The sound is loud. The lights.
Normally I see you in places that are that have lofts. The Encore does not have a loft. Do you scout all the different venues before you go to see if it would work for television?
I don't personally, but our people do. Yeah,
Good,
and
nice.
We like to have a high ceiling. We like to have a certain way, especially when ICP's playing, because we like to rocket those Fagos, and it's nice to always have a high ceiling, and those drop ceilings and stuff get destroyed when they're not high enough.
Yeah,
when the Fagos flying off the stage.
I was telling my friends too, and that's one of the things that are probably in there is a cleanup fee, because nothing messier for a venue staff after than ICP show, because that Fago gets sticky for sure. I
wonder what we've spent on cleanup fees over the last 30 years, man. Woo!
I was saying that too as an argument. I was like, that's how much they love to entertain, is they're willing to make less money because they're paying more just to make a mess and be like, our bad. Here's some extra money that we're not going to take.
You have no idea. We don't even make no money, man. I'm broke. We spend it all on entertaining the people, man. Every year at the gathering, we come out owing money.
Well, again, this year it's all about respect, and ICP was announced to perform on Bonnaroo, larger than life. Then the one earlier this week, which was massive, was the
one in Florida.
Oh yes, the Welcome to Rockville. When you have headliners like Green Day, Korn, and ICP. And then on Bonnaroo, you got headliners like Tame Impala, Dua Lipa, and ICP. And you're like, am I on some kind of weird acid trip? No, this is reality, right? They're mainstream now. And
we have a great experience at those festivals, man. We love them.
I bet. And I bet you get a lot of love from the artists alike, too. So, a lot of secret juggalos out there for sure. With that, of course, JCW Lunacy happening next Friday. It's a TV taping. You can see past episodes of JCW Lunacy on YouTube, and it looks like a multi-million-dollar production. It's good-looking TV with great storylines, good characters that literally pop through the screen, and names of indie wrestlers that you may recognize, like the JCW champion Willie Mack. What can people expect coming out for next Friday?
There's 6 brand new characters we're debuting. There's all of our legends. We got guys like Too Tough Tony and the Brothers of Funstruction. Those guys held the tag team titles for 2 years straight. We got the Backseat Boys. We got Willie Mack, the Chocolate Juggalo. We've got the giant 7-foot-tall Painful Paul. Man, we've got an arsenal. We got the wrestler Cocaine coming in.
Yeah, Cocaine. You've seen Cocaine on social media. Cocaine is his name. And what's great about this is you probably didn't know where he originated from, but Cocaine is like Kane, but he has magic powder that if you don't let him do it, because if he does it, it's game over for you, son. Yeah, so hilarious. And also, it's great independent wrestling action. JCW, again, has been running for a good 20 years strong as an independent wrestling promotion, and it's going to be a night mixed of music and mayhem, if you will. Tickets available now for JCW Lunacy through Phenomenon Concerts and, of course, Club Encore. Now, Jay, I know you got a busy schedule. I got a bunch of people lined up, too, but I know that you're going to be in town next Friday. I think we're working on getting some of your wrestlers in studio, but I'm looking forward to coming to the show next Friday. Valdez and I are going to be there for sure. Can't wait. I know it's going to be a fantastic show, and I just want to say, not only thank you for your time, but congratulations on what a fantastic career. But I'm happy to see how much love you guys are receiving this year. It's well deserved.
Thank you, Beef, man. That means a lot to me, man. And thank you for your time, my man. Seriously, thank you for even caring what I have to say, man. It means a lot to me, bro. We didn't receive any love for a long time, man. And and it feels good. Like I was telling you off the air, it feels really good to have this kind of adoration after all this time. You know what I mean? Or what's that? Alteration, whatever the word is. But thank you, brother.
Here, I got a man with glasses backstage. What's the word, Herb Stratford? Help him out.
I think it's adulation.
Adulation.
There it is.
Trust him. He's got glasses on. All right.
There it is.
We're going to keep this conversation moving on to podcast broadcast, youtube.com/beefvegan. Yeah, so this is my friend Herb as well, and Valdez. Herb is our film critic. And so, yeah.
Hey, Valdez, man, you gonna come referee?
Yes, sir. I got all my gear in my trunk.
Thank you, bro. Come through, man. You'll have fun.
I got a gimmick. It's all black and white. I wear like one black boot, one white boot. I have these like bands that I use, and when I know it's my last match, I throw them at the kids, and then the kids get all into the, gimmick about it. So it's pretty cool. It's fun.
Cool, man. Let's do the thing, man.
All right.
Well, we're going to be there 100%, dude. So I'm stoked. And do you know what time you're coming to town next week?
I'm not sure. Yeah, I'll probably be there around 3 PM. We probably pull in, I would guess.
Okay. All right.
But man, I would love to talk to you guys again. And if you guys get a chance to get some wrestlers down, man, that would be super cool, brher.
I know that we're working on it. I'll talk to Bill about it, and we'll try to make that happen, if not via Zoom. Especially, I would love to talk to Cocaine, of course, Willie, for sure. And yeah,
We've also got Steven Flo coming in. Have you seen him online?
Yeah, Steven Flo. Yeah, that looks like Eddie Vedder. Steven Flo. Yeah. Well,
Steven Flo.
That's so great. So good. All right, let me end it with this question, okay? Let's say you could fantasy draft, say 3 wrestlers from any promotion to join JCW. Who would those 3 wrestlers be?
Oh man. Whew. Let's see. Probably Nick Nemeth. We've had Nick Nemeth once, but to have him on a full-time basis would be really great because he was so great when he came.
Stigler, yeah.
Yes, very much. He would be my first pick probably. And then Nakamura, what's his name?
Yeah.
Yes,
Shinsuke
all
Nakamura,
day.
yeah.
I love that guy. And probably Penta.
Okay, yeah. No, Penta's finally having his time, right? Did you work with Penta in the past?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, I never worked with him, but may have done a show with him, but never got to do anything with him. But yeah, those would probably be my top 3 picks as of right now. Absolutely.
Nice. I love it. Love that list. Jay, I look forward to meeting you in person. I'll make sure I say hi. I'm going to talk to all the people, and we'll do this again. And again, enjoy this year.
Thank you.
And next time, we got to do this again because I still didn't talk to you. I talked to you about doing mushrooms at what's that, comedy show in Vegas?
Yeah, Stank Fest.
Yeah, Steak Fest. Too much of Steak Fest. Your first attempt at, I watched you live do your first attempt at stand-up comedy on Kill Tony, right? So
yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think of that? Was it good?
Yeah, I clipped it and stuff. Yeah. I mean, you made some rookie mistakes as far as stand-up comics, as one would do, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a comedian, and I'm terrified of that profession. I admire comedians, I could never do that, so it was a real challenge. And I'm so dumb, I didn't know what Kill Tony was. I didn't know that I would be, I thought I was going to do a podcast. I didn't know, so when they told me what it was, I wrote that stuff in the dressing room. In my mind, I was like, I got to come up with something. And I went way too long. I went like 4 minutes out there.
Yes, you did. Yeah, because you're supposed to do 60 seconds like an open mic. And your dick is like Barney, right? So, so
they could have brutalized me though. They could have slaughtered me out there, but they didn't, So I was proud.
They were nice. Well, but again, that's kind of like the theme of 2025. People are showing love. Tom Green was one of the judges there, and Tom Green, so he gets it. So yeah, it was that was great to see too. But yeah, we have a lot of follow up. So hopefully we get to do this again.
Hell yeah, man. Sounds great, Beef. Thank you guys, man.
Brad,
I appreciate
you. ViolentJ, everyone.